What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again going live. Live. Man, we're gonna talk about some stuff today. I'm gonna do a couple of little shout outs for y'all. You know what I mean? Some of the people that's out here. Appreciate the Tish, Vivian for already getting up in the little donations and whatnot. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for doing that. But we're gonna talk about 50 Cent's son, Marquise. Apparently, 80,000 it ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough. It's chump change. You can't live off 80,000 in America, bro. It ain't it. You know. We're gonna talk about Jada Pinkett Smith coming out with a tell-all book. I thought she told it all at the Red Table Talk, but she ain't telling it all yet. She ain't telling it all yet. So I guess she said Will came out with his book. That one killed it. Gotta have my own book. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it go down in the Legion of Doom. So we're gonna talk about that today also, and we're gonna talk about, obviously, you know, it's been on everything. People been going in about it. We're gonna talk about Kanye West and Candice Owens getting together, like where they create, the Justice League of super villains. Now, what's the super villain it's called? They call it the Legion of Doom, right? The Legion of Doom. And they got together. They had the White Lives Matter T-shirts on. So we're gonna talk about those things in succession. When you get in, say what's up to me. Also, make sure you push the like button immediately. You know, don't delay. And you know what? Look, donate to the chat. I'm gonna take this off. Donate to the chat. I'm giving you free game. I'm showing love. Show me love back. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for my life. Sorry, that was too far. Did I take it too far? Yeah. Appreciate you. In love, what's happening? Appreciate you. I couldn't even see who it was exactly because I took my glasses off. You see what I'm saying? I was trying to do the dramatic effect. I took my glasses off. I saw a donation was actually given here, but I couldn't see who it was because I really can't see that good. I ain't gonna hold you. I've been thinking about getting LASIK surgery for several years, but I don't know, like, because I don't want to lose what I got. Like, at least I can see now a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can see the camera, I can see across the room. But if the LASIK surgery don't work out, then I already got that. Now I walk around like this. If you really love me, Georgia. No disrespect to the legends, you feel me? All right, so we're gonna get into it pretty quick. I'm gonna talk to you guys about what's up. I don't think I've seen you before. What is it? Is it Noitiba? I ain't heard that one yet. See, I can't see either. Out of about 52 pair of glasses. No Tiba. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for giving me the phonetic help there. The glasses thing is a trap, bro. It's a trap. Because your eyes don't get no better, they just keep getting worse. I don't know what to tell you. I'm finna just be like, forget it. Just stop wearing my glasses. Just walk around like Mr. Magoo. I'm finna just be like that, just like forget it. Y'all gonna see me like this all the time. Okay, we're gonna talk about 50 Cent and his son. For some of y'all who, maybe y'all ain't up on pop culture. Let me see if I can. Okay. For some of y'all who are not up on pop culture, and maybe y'all don't know, 50 Cent and his oldest son, Marquise, have really been going back and forth for some years now. They've been going back and forth for some years. Obviously, 50 Cent was with the mom initially, that kind of went bad. She was somebody that was like there from the beginning. You know how that goes, and relationships go bad. We blame whoever we feel like blaming, but relationships go bad. And, that's kind of what happened. Her and 50 been beefing with each other for some years, and it seemed like the beef is kind of carried over to the son. Now the son has inherited the beef, and him and 50 been going back and forth. Well, the son is now 25 years old, okay? So he's a grown-ass man. But anyway, he was talking about child support and what 50 was paying back in the day. And there's a little bit of a discrepancy because it seems like 50 was paying more money at first. The mom tried to take him back to court and ended up getting less money. Is what it seems like happened, but I don't know. So we're just gonna go with what we know, or what the son said. And he said that 50 was paying the mother $6,700 a month in child support, which is about $80,000. Now, if you account for taxes, it's about 90, 92, 93, whatever, depending on where you live. Obviously, if you live in New York, that might be about 90. That might be about 95 grand if you add the taxes back on in New York, because what they got, you got state income taxes, and obviously you got your federal income taxes, you got Medicare, unemployment insurance, all the stuff that most of us will get. If you get a paycheck, you paying all that, right? So my man is saying $6,700 ain't it. It's not enough money. He was like, look, I'm gonna let y'all hear it. He was doing an interview with a guy named Choke No Joke. That's really his name. He used to be with Rockefeller. That don't even matter.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Right? $6,700 a month, right? $6,700 a month in the state of New York City. You do the math.
Oh, I done the math. I've been in child support, brother. I went to jail for it. So I said, so
okay, cool. $6,700 a month, right?
$6,700 a month.
You're talking about a four-lister. Hold on, wait, listen. You're talking about somebody that has problems with everybody. You can't just live in any neighborhood. $81K is not a substantial lot of money.
Hold on.
You can't just live anywhere.
And if he's contributing $6,700, that means your mom's got the other half. It ain't just for him to take care of you. She got to take care of you. $700. Where's her $6,700 to go with it? Now y'all got $1,200, $1,300, now $13,000 a month.
Oh my! All right, hold on. Yo, choke. This is where you get it. This is where it goes down a bad path, brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yo, bro, $6,700. If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with $6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Can you do it?
With $6,700, I can.
You have nothing.
$6,700, yes, I can. I'm from the $6,700, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying.
Nigga.
I'm comparing it to yourself.
With 2 kids.
Okay. Well, see, this is where it went bad when he asked I don't know if you guys heard this. He asked the interviewer. He was like, he's basically saying $6,700 ain't nobody. Then he asked the interviewer, if I gave you $6,700 a month right now, could you rebuild your life from scratch? And he was like, yeah, obviously. Now, and I'm going to go into the comments a little bit and see what y'all talking about too. Like, were y'all able to hear? I felt like 50's son feel entitled, but I don't know how he could be trolling like what his father, or he could be trolling like what his father be doing. Who gets child support at 25? See, I think that's where people got confused. I don't think he's still getting child support. I think he was just talking about child support from back in the day. But there are some people in their 20s getting child support. I don't think he's still getting child support. But what he was saying was $6,700 isn't a lot of money. And he asked the interviewer, could you rebuild your life with $6,700 a month? Of course, like any normal person, that's not a good question to ask anyone, because any normal person is going to say, yes, I could rebuild my life with $6,700. What are you talking? That's not even a rebuild. That's not even a rebuild. What are you talking about? Like, that's what most people try to aspire to be able to make that type of money. You got to think the average household income is about $55,000. So that's a household. You got to think the average person is not making that type of money. And then you got to think about all the people, especially when you look at averages, and you got to think a few rich people pull up an average. So when you look at even median income, most people are not making that type of money, man. Most people ain't making nowhere close to 80 grand a year. Most people, it's a lot of people making 25, 30. It's a lot of people who are barely making it through life, struggling. So yeah, most people, if you gave them 80 grand that they didn't have to work for, which means your time is not being spent making 80 grand, most people would be able to build a life. If I gave anybody here, even if you're working, you're already making money, You got bills and stuff like that. If I gave you $6,700 a month, most of you would go, $6,700? Now I can add that to whatever it is I'm making on my own. It seems to me that his mother just wasn't making any money at all, because you keep talking about the 6,700. Like, what am I supposed to do with 6,700? The interviewer made a point. He said, why, it's not supposed to just be 50 taking care of you. If he gave 6,700, why don't your mom get a job and start giving 6,700? Now you be balling. Now you be in there. If you were giving somebody $6,700 a month, and they can't. I'm gonna be real with you. And my dad said this to me a long time ago. He was like, look, it's like, he was like, what you do with a little, you'll do with a lot. So if I give you $6,700 a month, which isn't a little, I'm not being insensitive, disrespectful to nobody or anything like that. That's not a little bit of money. I understand that. I understand there's people living off of way less than even, $2,000 a month. I get that. I live in the world. I understand. But I'm just saying, like, if you can't live off $6,700 a month, if you can't make something happen in your life off of that, even if he gave you $100,000 a month, you will find some way to mess it up. You'll probably go buy all the jewelry. You have a neck full of jewelry. I'm not trying to be funny, but that's probably what you would do. You go get a neck full of jewelry, go pay for everybody's stuff, be tricking off the money. That's what you would do. Because if you're not doing anything with $6,700, then you clearly not the type of person who's gonna, like, if you didn't go get a job so you can make extra money, then that's the kind of person you are. Let's go into the comments a little bit. The child can get support if they're in college. I'm not sure if it's called child support. It's still child support in some it's not every state doesn't work that way. Some states will let you get up until you're like 23 years old, some like 21, which is crazy. I don't agree with that. I'm gonna go into this child support thing a little bit. I don't agree with that. I think when you get 18 years old, your child support should be cut off. Here's why I say that. Because when you start giving adults free money, or you start telling parents that they have to take care of adults, the adult gets put in a perpetual state of childhood, because they start expecting it breeds basically what you have with this kid. And I know a lot of y'all, might be getting child support and stuff like that. Y'all may not want to hear this, but I'm not here to make you feel good or bad. I'm here to give you the real. When you are getting child support and you're not a child, you get put in a perpetual state of childhood. Your mentality becomes childlike, because somebody else is being told to pay you and support your life when you're supposed to be doing it. And also, sometimes the kid is not even getting the money. Like, you got to remember, the money getting paid to the mother. So you're in college, but there's nothing that says the mother has to support you with the money that she's getting from your dad. Or no, I shouldn't even just say the mom. I should say the non-custodial parent, because there's more and more women nowadays getting put on child support too. It's not as many, but it's starting to happen more and more often. So the non-custodial parent is paying for these things, but it's not necessarily saying that the parent that has custody has to give you the money. I know people who were getting money while they're in college, and their parent was getting money, their mother was getting money, and wasn't giving them anything, wasn't helping them with their tuition or nothing. Because some people are like that. They're not going to help you with your tuition. They're not going to give you money. I think it's easy to blame Marquise, that's 50 Cent's son. It's easy to look at him and say, wow, what an entitled brat. Wow, this kid's really tone deaf. He doesn't really seem to get it. But I think and it's easy to blame his mother. But I think that it's a system in place that says you can get money from somebody at this high rate, not just the basics of life. And people like to put two things together. It's like, here's a person getting a few $100s a month in child support. Let's try to connect that as if it's the same as somebody who's getting $15,000 or $5,000 or like a salary in child support. If it's a salary child support, you got to understand, like, that's adult support. The whole family's being supported. And because it's happening that way, And it is not being acknowledged in a lot of cases, because you can tell by the words the guy is using. He's like, man, they ain't paying nothing. He should be doing this for me. He should be doing that for me. And the reality is, when you look at the situation, it's like nobody's telling this dude, hey, we're getting $6,700 a month. That was his mother's job in that situation, to say, we are getting $6,700 a month. I want you to understand that that's double, and in some cases triple, in some cases quadruple what people in the United States of America make. I want you to understand this. No matter what problem I have with your dad, I want you to understand that we are getting more than most people will ever, that go get college degrees, teachers. We're getting more than most of these people will ever make. Okay? That's what we're getting. For that reason, I want you to understand and be grateful for what you have. And understand that this can and will end at some point. And you need to have a plan for that. I don't see where he's gotten that information, because otherwise, why would you be on a podcast really kind of making a fool out of yourself and making yourself somebody for everybody to make fun of you? You know, that's something to think about. So let's go in here. Okay. Somebody said, I feel bad for Nick Cannon. What he probably has to spend in child support payments, and with them 10 kids and 10 baby mamas. Well, he doesn't have 10 baby mamas. He doesn't actually have 10 baby mamas. He has quite a few baby mamas, but there's several kids that are by the same person. He probably spending some child support. I don't know, though, what his child support situation is like, because you got to think, Mariah is one of the baby mamas. Mariah Carey. I don't even know if he's paying her child support right now, or if they got something worked out. I don't know. You know, he might be paying the same amount as anybody else. It may not really be that critical. You know, it depends on what the women are going after and all that kind of stuff. It's people, because I've seen this before too, where somebody's paying more to one baby mama than another person's paying to 5 baby mamas. It really just depends. So when does the support cut off? It depends on the state. It's like I said, some people getting paid child support in their 20s. They're not even kids anymore. They could join the army. That's what my problem is with it. It's like, if you decide to go to college, that's on you. You should get a scholarship. But look, I come from, my dad raised me. You get what I'm saying? So my sense of entitlement and what I think people are supposed to get is going to be different than a lot of other people. My dad used to always tell me, you know, we don't owe you anything. You are alive. That's the greatest gift you could ever receive. And if you don't feel it is, it's because you're not doing anything with it. Yo, what's up? We don't, you know, if you're not happy and you don't feel like your life is the greatest thing that you ever received, you're not doing anything with it. Because if you were killing it, you wouldn't feel like it wasn't the greatest thing. So when I look at somebody like this, like Marquise, and I look at what he's doing with the child support thing, I want to get from you guys. Do y'all think $6,700 is a lot of money? Because maybe I'm tripping. Y'all think that $6,700 is a lot of money? Let me know if y'all think that $6,700 is a lot of money. Because I'm gonna be real. A lot of celebrities paying alimony to ex-wives. Yeah. Okay, yeah, $6,700 is a lot. He's just ungrateful. And I think, gratitude is learned also. And a lot of people who are ungrateful don't even know they're ungrateful because they don't know that they have anything to be grateful for. So I think that's where enough information didn't go down the pipeline for this kid. Like, I just don't think that his mom, I'm just being real, because his mom and dad were beefing. So I don't think his mom was just like, yo, no matter what, bro, no matter what, you need to feel happy that you have what you have. You need to feel happy that you're getting money. Bruh, everybody not getting enough money to live in a nice place and all this kind of stuff. We're living good. And you get to have your mom with you all the time because she don't have to work. So, yeah, let's see. The kids should be given to their dad after 5 years because women doing a terrible job raising children. I think that there should be way more 50-50 custody. And I think in some cases, I don't think that the child should just automatically go to the mother. I don't. Because, hey, it's not even whether the mother is a good mother or a bad mother. It's about really, I think there should be a legal standard of co-parenting that should happen. Because what happens in most cases is, and we know that 90% of custody cases, the child goes to the mother. So it's not even just that the dads don't always want them. It's like they just, and in most states, when the baby is born, it's automatically the mother's baby. But I think that has to change, because I just don't think that there's really a system that fosters co-parenting. When a relationship doesn't work out between two people, there's got to be a system in place that says we automatically force co-parenting. We know, because people always say, well, what if the dad is crazy? Well, what if the mom is crazy? Anybody can be crazy. We're going to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're not, just like we would if they were a married couple. And we're going to say, you guys got to work it out based on a system where y'all both have custody of the child. It's both of you your kid. Y'all need to work something out. But since we don't do that in America, because it's a money grab, let's be real, everybody's hurt by it ultimately. Everybody ends up being hurt. The kids hurt, the moms hurt, the dads hurt, other siblings are hurt. Like we was talking about the McDonald's thing where the dude didn't want to bring McDonald's for the other kids. He was like, forget them kids. The woman had other kids and he didn't want to bring McDonald's for the other kids. He just brought it for his kid. But do you think that situation would be the way it is if parenting was more connective, if it wasn't such an adversarial relationship from the beginning, if it wasn't like, oh, I'm taking you to court, I'm getting child support, oh, you can't see your kid. This back and forth becomes a thing, and even if it's a person who does want to be involved in their kid's life, they have an adversarial relationship with the other parent. So it's like, I don't give a damn about your other kids. I don't give a damn about you. I don't care. All I care about is my one kid and really how to get them away from you. And I think that's a problem. We gotta create a system where people just automatically have to co-parent. And there's no benefit in not co-parenting. You don't get more money for getting the person less days. It's like, hey, if you fight for less days for the other person, well, then your money don't change. Because I don't know if y'all know that in most states, there's a system in place that says if you don't keep your kids this amount of days, you could get more money. Sometimes it's not a significant amount of money, so people don't really fight for it. But in situations where it is, it's people trying to get full custody and take away the person's visitation so they could get more money. If you take that away and say, you can't get no more money, you're not getting any more money no matter what. So you better make it work. And as a matter of fact, when you do certain things to stop the child from being able to see the other parent, we will take money from you. We will do punitive things to you and make it to where we start socking into your pocket. Give me $6,700 a month. I'm gonna flip that. See, that's the thing I think too, is like, I think that they have to put this kid in a situation where he can connect with his dad. Because like, dang, man, your dad has been able to make all these business moves, not even just rapping. He's in television. He's doing all these different things. Vitamin water deal. He's doing all this. And, you can't turn $6,700 into some real bread. You get what I'm saying? Like, what have you been doing all this time? What have you been learning? It seems like you haven't learned anything. Because, regular people can do that. So, why can't you with all the access and stuff that you have? I agree co-parenting should be enforced and penalties should be regulated. Should there be benefits? I think that the way co-parenting should work, what you said about benefits, I think is true also. I think the way co-parenting should work, there seems to be a lot of benefit for people who are in broken families. If you notice, a lot of stuff goes to people who really are in broken families. But there isn't really a benefit. There's a small tax credit for people who are married, but there isn't really a benefit for co-parenting. Have you noticed that? Like, there's no real... anything they want you to do in America, especially, they incentivize. So if they want you to buy a house, they'll give you some kind of a credit to buy a house. If they want you to take out a loan, if they want you to start a business, that's why the capital gains tax is a lot less than the earned income tax, because they want you to open a business and spark the economy and pay employees. If they wanted people to co-parent, then they would make some type of benefit so that people could co-parent. And that's something that people haven't really brought up. But there are so many different ways you could benefit people. You could do a tax break. You could say, hey, man, if both of y'all have the kids this amount of time, and y'all sharing these different things, here's a tax break that you both could get. You know, this is a tax credit that we would give. I mean, you're giving away tax credits to businesses, corporations, and stuff anyway. You might as well give one to try to raise better families. Then that'll cut down on, take some of that from the prison budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, we start getting more kids in good, strong family units, we're going to get less of them in prison. Take some of that from the prison budget. Or full-time boys with their fathers. So this young lady said, I think the boys should go with their fathers full-time. You know, I think especially for boys, I do believe at some point every boy should have the opportunity to live with their dad. You know, I know some people might not like that, might get mad, but people constantly talk about what men aren't and what they're not becoming and what they're not living up to. But then you don't have a system in place that says, here, if your father would be willing to take care of you at this age, you know, you have the ability to just go over there without him having to fight for custody and all that, because that will be best for you. You know, you can't. I've been around, I got a lot of friends who don't have their fathers around, who don't have like a direct relationship with their dad, or they have one, but it's kind of like not really that good. Or so like, you know, the dad doesn't have full access to the kid. And they've struggled quite a bit. You know, a lot of them have had really hard times. There's like a divide in people that I know, from people who grew up with a good family unit, even if their parents weren't together, but they were able to be around their fathers, and the ones that weren't. And it's totally different. You know, obviously some people can do something amazing where like they can play ball or something like that. So, you know, they got a head start even if they don't have a dad. But for people who are just regular, I'm saying, it's kind of like a lot of times an uphill battle. Because it's just saying that you learn from somebody who is just like you, who's been there already. Like, look at 50 Cent and his son. You know, they look alike. They seem to have a lot of stuff even in common. What if you were able to learn from him and now you could pick up where he left off? But, you know, that's not there for him. Yeah, I think there is incentive to stay single. No, they're not going to stop the prison system, modern day slavery. Well, it is. That was what the 13th Amendment was really about. It was like, okay, we're not going to enslave these people in this way. We'll enslave people in that way. You know, a lot of stuff is created on purpose. They know if you got more families together, they would do a better job of raising their children. They know that. They know that you would have generations of, because think about this. Look at the broken family system that we have. It's generational now. Thanks, Tish. In most cases that you see broken families, you see grandparents, granddaddy's not around, or grandma's not around, or they're not together. You know, it's been sets of people coming in and out. It's blended. It's you know what I mean? You know, you see that. Then you see the parents. Then when the children have children, it's the same thing. So now nobody really has anyone to look at and say, hey, this is how you keep a family together. This is how you keep a core together. This is how you parent with people. Even if it's a broken up type of relationship, hey, my grandparents still come to all my events and they're together. They're cool with each other. You don't really see that as often. So people just get it in their mind like, why should I even make any attempt to try to parent or try to co-parent with somebody when I've never seen that? You know, some people are like, I ain't have a grandparent, I ain't have a granddaddy, I ain't have a daddy, and now my kid doesn't have one. You get what I'm saying? Some people do. My daddy wasn't around, my granddaddy wasn't around, now I'm not around. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's really not, you know, people are not incentivized to do any better because it's an uphill battle for people who do. Like, think about the fact that they'll get somebody a lawyer to get child support, but they won't get somebody a lawyer to get custody or visitation of their kids. And then think about what the visitation generally looks like. Every other weekend, 1 weekend in the, or 1 week in the summer or something like that. You know, that's what you're generally getting. You might get a month in the summer, but most of the time you're just not even getting any real opportunity to make a big impact on your kid's life, and the person's supposed to go spend 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, in some cases even up to $100,000 to get that. You know, and it's like, what do you expect? And on top of that, they got to pay child support. You got a person incentivized to not allow that person to see their child. Because people don't even think about what they're doing to the kid. Because you got to remember, like, a lot of people, they're like, well, I ain't have my other parent around. I only have one parent. So it can't be hurting the kid too bad. Look at me. I grew up. I'm fine. But it's like, are you? I mean, maybe you got a good job, but internally, are you fine? What did you miss out on? Did you feel like you missed out on anything? I'm talking about at the time. Not what you rationalized to yourself later on because you turned out good on paper. But what did, you know, it's like poverty. You could grow up out of poverty and do pretty well. But it doesn't mean you're like, yeah, man, I'm taking my kids to the projects and I'm raising them there. Because you recognize the fact that, hey, I got certain things out of this, but it's some stuff that was kind of difficult. And I might also be an anomaly. Because what does everybody that when you look to your left and your right, what are they doing? I can look at Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5 and say, man, if I go have 10 kids and raise them in Gary, Indiana, then 5 of them going to be in a singing group and a couple other ones going to be stars anyway. So that's what I should go ahead and do. But I promise you, if you look at everybody else, you know, that grew up in that neighborhood, they probably ain't doing so good. All right, the next thing we're going to go on to, anybody got anything to add to the 50 Cent and his son Marquise saga? He said it's too late, go back to sleep. Nah, Derek, you good. We got a lot more going on. Come on, man. Anybody else got anything they want to add to the 50 Cent and Marquise Jackson saga before we go on to Jada Pinkett doing a tell-all memoir? All right, I'm going to talk about that a little bit while y'all. Do I think he's feeling jealous of his little brother? Probably. I don't know. I'm not going to psychoanalyze the dude, but I mean, do the math. I would. I'd be feeling jealous. So I can't put it past him. I mean, you know, if I was in that situation, I'm damn sure I'd be, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm not superhuman. I'm damn sure feel jealous. I'd be mad. I'm like, dang. And then a lot of times you don't know where to put your anger because it's all over the place. You know, if you see somebody else, they over there with the dad, he over there hugging on the little kid all the time, you know, ruffling his little hair and stuff like that, you know, holding a little kid, talking about how much he loved the kid and all this kind of stuff, and the kid seemed like having a good-ass life. You like, man, that could have been me. Look at Pops over there wrestling with that little kid. What about me, man? There wasn't nobody wrestling with me, man. I had to wrestle with my pillow. Yeah, definitely. Said low-key the son was probably trying to piss people off. You know, he could have been, man. He seemed a little tone deaf though in the discussion. But I don't know. He could have been. He damn sure did piss people off. He pissed people off for sure. Whenever you say an amount of money that most people aspire to make isn't anything, it's insulting. You know, it's insulting. That's something that I always try to be careful about is when you talk about money, you talk about numbers. Because you got to understand there's people working their ass off every single day who may never make a number that you're talking about and you're talking down on. You get what I'm saying? All they gave me was this. All I got, you know, when you start using, you know, saying stuff like that, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And some people want to piss people off. I don't know what he gains from that. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get popping on the internet. Who knows? Maybe he, you know, because 50 is a troller for sure. So maybe that is what he was trying to do. So, you know, hey, let's see, $6,700 a month is a serious blessing that can provide for 4 kids and a stay-at-home wife. Yeah, for sure. And if you feel like where you live, $6,700 isn't enough money, you know, you can always move. So I think he's comparing his life against the little brother's lifestyle again. Sure, I'm sure he probably is. You know, and a lot of times you don't really get like, hey, your mom and 50 didn't last, and this, you know, 50's in a situation with the other kid. that you weren't in. Y'all situation is different. And I'm sure it probably does hurt. I'm sure it probably hurts. But you got to just recognize the fact that that's over. You know, that's over. Now you got to try to figure out, how can I make a connection? And I think what he's doing really, because even if he was trying to get popping on the internet by saying what he's saying about 50 or whatever, it's like, bro, that's never going to trump the connections that 50 can make for you. That could do more than what you would ever even get off of what you're trying to do on the internet. Like 50 could put you on a show. He could have you producing a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be in a way better spot than what you're in. If it was me, I'm gonna be real with you. I would apologize to my dad and try to make a connection and try to get back close with him. Because I'm the one hurting. You know, 50 can have more kids. He got another son now. You can't get another dad. What I would suggest, they didn't ask me, but you asked me what I would suggest for their relationship. First of all, and I know some of y'all gonna be like, why are you putting it all on dude? If I was Marquise, because it's really on him. And the reason why I say it's on him, and I know people gonna be like, it's on the dad. Yeah, that's because people teaching y'all the wrong stuff. You're trying to get into a situation with your dad after you've been everywhere in the world and after you've been dealing with the dude as if he's not your dad. You gotta realize, I know people gonna tell you your parents owe you everything. They're supposed to give. But you gotta understand, like, he actually took care of you throughout your childhood. Whether he was there every day or not there at all. You exist and you were able to go to a good school, live in a good neighborhood because of him. So you can't come at him like he wasn't a father. You can't come at him like that, because now you are a man trying to come at another man from a place of ingratitude, which is going to cause that man to not respect you as a man. If a man gave you something and you're not showing gratitude for that, it's going to make you look like a little boy to him. But you're going to try to be respected as a man. You get what I'm saying? You can't come to him at 25 years old talking like a little boy and expect him to respect you as a man. You can't be like, well, you should have done this for me. You should have done that. You should have been here, and not acknowledge all the stuff he did do. It's going to make you look like a little boy. And he going to little boy you every time he talks to you, which is going to make you start getting mad and becoming even more resentful. So when you come at the dude, you got to swallow your pride a little bit. And you got to start saying, look, the man did take care of me. I wouldn't have had the stuff that I had without him. Got to keep it a buck. And I got to give credit for everything he did do. I got to do that for him to see me as a man. And then from there, we can talk about some of our interactions and how things could have been done better on both sides. But I got to come with the respect and gratitude as a man to get the respect of a man. Or he's going to, like I said, he's going to keep little boying you, and then you're going to get mad. But coming with that lack of gratitude is going to make you look like a little boy. You're right. He's going to have to respect 50 to get all his benefits. Yeah, I mean, you can't come asking somebody for something too and come from a place of disrespect. Let's be real. That's silly. You can't be like, oh, man, you know, you ain't even looking out for me no more. You're not respecting them. It's not free. You know, you're a grown man. You aged out of where the court going to make them give you money. Now you got to, and that's what I be talking about with the child support. It creates this thing that I call child support syndrome. And what it is it's the concept that somebody has to give you money whether they like you or not. Well, that ends. Now you have to get the person to like you. But you've already created this situation where they don't. And what happens a lot of times is you start doing that with everybody. You think that everybody has to do stuff for you, whether they like you or not. And we all know that's not the way the world works. People are not going to give you a damn thing. Especially when they don't like you. They're like, I don't even like you. All right, let's segue into Jada Pinkett Smith writing her memoir about her life. And of course, Will Smith is in it. Will is in the memoir, apparently. She's going to talk about a lot of little things. This is allegedly. She's going to talk about all the stuff that's been going on, the marriage, the opening and closing of it. Y'all let me know, okay, before I get into it, we're going to do a little different. Before I get into it, y'all let me know, do y'all feel like this is a good idea? Do y'all feel like, not just for your entertainment value, because for my entertainment value, it's damn sure a good idea. But I'm talking about for their family and for their relationship, do you think it's a good idea for her to write this tell-all book? Okay, let's see. Jada needs to sit down and be quiet. We've heard enough. Okay. Y'all use the super chat trophy button to show your support. So y'all clicked on the trophy button, man. Show some support to the chat. Show some love. You know, I try to do these things and be on here, you know, just showing y'all, giving y'all game, you know, trying to be with the people. Got to give the people what they want. But, you know, make sure y'all hit them trophy buttons, super chats. Showing me some love, you know what I mean? Keeping it going. Let's keep it going. And they're gonna make that paper. That's true. That's true. That paper gonna definitely come in. They might need it because I heard Chris Rock is suing. Thanks, Vivian. Hi, I just learned I'm under investigation for misconduct complaint. My professional orders say it preoccupied with my content online. I believe in helping people over 100 videos. What do I do in front of adversity? Wow, that was heavy. You're under, so it says, you're under investigation for misconduct complaint. My professional order says it is preoccupied with my content online, I'm sorry. I believe in helping people over 100. Okay. Well, I would just really start, I don't want to try to give you legal advice on some stuff like that, but I will say this. The first thing I do in that type of situation is get information. So this for some of y'all can actually learn from this too. So she says she's being investigated for misconduct. And somebody, you know, had a misconduct complaint or whatever, and it has something to do with some of the online content that she's put out. So she's saying, you know, hey, what should I do with this type of thing? The first thing you want to do, if you have any type of a professional situation, personal or professional, but we're going to go with professional, legal situation, whatever. If you have any type of situation, the number one thing y'all want to do, I want y'all to hear this, write this down. The number one thing you want to do is fact find, okay? Before you panic, before you get upset, before you kind of go into it, fact find. Find out what's going on and what information that is, what people are actually saying about you, where that information is coming from, and what they're saying, and what exactly they're saying. How much of it is true? How much of it is false? You know, because sometimes people come up with a complaint it's total bull crap. Sometimes a little bit of it will be true, and a lot of it is fake. Sometimes it's 100% real. You know, you get what I'm saying? So you want to check and see. You want to first of all fact find. Once you get all your facts, you want to gather your allies. So then you want to gather allies right after you fact find. So once you get the facts, like, yo, okay, let me see what this is. Now you know what you're looking for. Now you want to get allies. Those allies might be people that you have to pay as far as legal counsel. They could be friends. They could be people who don't like the people who are trying to say certain stuff about you. You know, that kind of thing. So that's the next thing you want to do. And then you want to mount a defense, okay? Now you want to mount a defense. Figure out exactly what you're going to do to protect yourself. And then you want to go on offense. So those are the things that you do in that situation. Let's see. Okay, I read my code of profession over and over again. They use general sections of the law to take me down. Okay, like example, like you should act with honor and dignity. Okay, so she's talking about her situation is really vague. What these people are saying to her is really vague. And people will often use vague stuff in order to take you down in a situation. Like if somebody's beefing with you or got a problem with you, they'll often use like really vague charges. If you're in that type of situation where you have really vague charges against you, you want to make people make specific charges. What the hell are you talking about? How did I act in this particular way? My only allies are my people, the people I help, my clients, my community, my subscribers, my equals, want to take me down. Okay, well, you actually got a lot of allies then. Your subscribers, the people you've been working with, that's a lot of allies. In reality, Those are a lot of allies. So you really want to make one of the ways you want to gather your allies a lot of times is by telling your story. Once you figure out what people have against you, and if it's bullcrap and you know it, that's when you want to get on your allies and tell them your story. Tell your allies your exact story. Hey, this is what's going on. Then they can really help you out a lot more. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. We'll go back into this Jada Pinkett thing a little bit, and then you hit me up with some more of that information too, because it's a pretty interesting story. Okay, they got to make that paper. Let's see. I'll take it. Jada will never respect Will because he let Jada and their children disrespect him for so long. The tell-all idea is bad because it can be held against the family. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the problem is everybody's not a person that can really command respect in their own household. Like what you said about Will Smith, I think that's true. And everybody is not the type of person that can command respect in their own household. You know, they just can't. Like, everybody's not like that. Everybody's not the type of person that's like, if I have some things going on in my household, I can get my kids and my wife to respect me. Some people just really not, I don't want to say they're not respectable people, because I think he is, but some people just don't really have a lot of backbone inside their own home. And I think that's kind of what's going on with dude. I think Will Smith is a person, like you said, he has let him disrespect him for way too long. I think he's let it go on for so long that he couldn't do anything about it now if he tried. Because I was looking at where the daughter was writing letters to Tupac. You know, I was like, really? I'm just looking at like, once you've allowed people to disrespect you at such a high level, they don't even feel like they're disrespecting you anymore. You get what I'm saying? I don't think that the kids even feel like they're disrespecting them anymore. You had, August Alsina living up in your crib, smashing your wife. It's no coming back from that. He might well just let her do the book. To be real, at this point, they say you're an officer of justice to force me to shut up. Conservative mentality. They took down a lawyer that was anti-COVID vaccine 2 years ago. She lost the case. Yeah, I don't think if you're going to deal with somebody like that, I don't think you should even try to deal with it necessarily just in the court. I think you got to try to deal with that in the court of public opinion. The court of public opinion is not a real court, but it does often affect real courts. So if you have a platform to speak to people on about your situation and you have people who would agree with you, then I think you got to take it to the people. I think you got to take it to the people. Some people get off on being disrespected. Just a thought. So just back on the Will and Jada thing. Yes, some people do get off on being disrespected. Will might like being disrespected at home, and now it got out. You get what I'm saying? Like because it's not disrespect if you like it. We may look at it as disrespect, but if you like it, it's not disrespect. Will have been cool with that at home. And then it got out. You get what I'm saying? I don't know because I don't know him. But he could have been cool with it at home. But then, you know, when something gets out, it changes everything. You know, you could be getting walked around like a dog at the crib on a leash and you be cool with that. That's your life. And hey, I ain't here to judge, brother. You know, whatever you got going on. To each his own. But you could be doing that. But then if somebody coming with a video camera, now you're like, oh, man, now they know. The world knows. Jada been walking me around like a dog. I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, you bring up a valid point. He may like that, but he may not just like the fact. Maybe the reason why he's been acting out is because now everybody knows. Because I don't believe she just started doing this stuff. I don't believe that. So it may be a situation where some of the stuff he's doing, like slapping old Chris Rock and all that kind of stuff, it may be because now everybody knows. You know how it is. If somebody roasts you and it's just y'all, it's one thing. But when somebody roasts you in front of people that you don't know, like mixed company, you be like, what? You gonna roast me in front of some dude who don't know? Man, I should. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a totally different thing. Okay, we're gonna talk about Kanye West. Before we get up out of here, we're gonna talk about Kanye West in the White Lives Matter t-shirt. He got together with his homie, Candice Owens, who is also somebody who is one of the most hated people in the black community for the most part. I don't have, anything against or for her. But, she is one of the most hated people in the black community. But anyway, her and Kanye got together. They wore some White Lives Matter t-shirts. And people are pissed. Everyone is really mad at Kanye West. They like Kanye West. It's a lot of celebrities slamming him and all this kind of stuff. And people have been asking me this. Y'all have been sending me the Kanye West White Lives Matter t-shirt. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Follow me on Instagram at I am Chaz Ellis also, because that's what people be sending me stuff a lot. But I don't see anything. I'm gonna say this. I don't see a problem with it because who cares about what Kanye West is doing? My problem is, why do people take somebody who raps or plays basketball or baseball or a comedian and say this is now our political leader? Like this person got some type of responsibility to be a political leader, or that they should have or should have the ability to be a political. Why? It's like, bruh, you make music. You made a lot of good music. You make shoes and stuff like that. Hey, great stuff. But that does not qualify you to be a political leader. You are a regular dude. So if you want to go out there and wear any kind of t-shirt, you can do that because we shouldn't care. It shouldn't be like, oh, what's Kanye West thinking about this? We need to change some things in this world. What's Kanye West got going on? We don't need to be thinking about what Kanye West got going on. You feel what I'm saying? Kanye is not somebody that we need to lean on for political strategies. What up? We don't need to lean on Kanye West for political strategies. You know what I'm saying? He's not a person for that. Not even just because anything wrong with him. It's just like, dude, you're a rapper. I think when Kanye says things that people like, oh man, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Yeah, I agree with you. Everybody's all happy. And they're like, yeah. Everybody's like, yeah. Thanks, Viv. Everybody's like, yeah. Kanye told George Bush off. But it's like, dude, the same person is going to do some other erratic stuff later on. He's doing the same type of stuff. It's just now you don't agree with it. I think if you just stop paying attention to it, then it wouldn't be such a big deal. But it's like anything the man does, everybody just, is all over the place. Somebody said he lived in a stadium too, didn't he? I don't know, did he? He probably, I don't know what Kanye got going on, bruh. I don't know what. I've been looking at how Kanye dressing lately. Kanye just living his life. He doing some other stuff. They both trolls. But in their case, I can't really prove it. But I feel like it's for, you feel like they got paid? They probably did. They probably did, man. That's why I'm saying, like, celebrities get paid to do stuff all the time. I'm in the entertainment industry. I'm on the lightweight level. I'm not trying to say I'm no Kanye West or nothing like that. Obviously not. But I do know that when you're working in the entertainment industry, people will pay you to do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff you think people are doing for free, where they coming on their platform, they giving out little messages and all that kind of stuff. A lot of stuff you think is free, people pay for it. A lot of candidates you think somebody just endorsing and yada, 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 yada. There's some back end that person is getting. So you see somebody like, oh yeah, vote for so-and-so, you're the greatest thing ever. A lot of times there's a back end there that person is getting, like, hey, I'm about to get a couple dollars. Yeah, Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart were laughing about it on YouTube some time ago. Okay, I believe it. Yeah, he probably was doing that sleeping in the stadium thing. Yeah, a lot of these people get paid to do all kinds of stuff because there's money out there. You know what I mean? If somebody will give you a couple grand or millions, depending on what your situation is, to put something up, you got to think also, who says that he hasn't trademarked White Lives Matter and he's selling the shirts now? That's actually a good idea. It's not his responsibility to be somebody you look up to politically. If you're doing that, that's on you. Kanye is a person that makes music. Candice Owens is a person that go on platforms and talk her shit. That's what she does. If you looking for these people for political advice and all that kind of stuff, hey, you made that choice. Everybody can have an opinion, but you got to look it up for yourself. You got to do your own research. You can't just be over here like, well, Kanye said white lives matter. Y'all act like him wearing that shirt. It's crazy. People act like him wearing that shirt just gonna tear the whole world down. If that was the case, why did the Black Lives Matter shirts not make some great impact? Last I woke up, I was still black, and I had all the same problems and worries that I had before Black Lives Matter came out. I'm pretty sure that if they do a White Lives Matter movement, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to wake up and still have the same problems. The rich white folks out there going to still be rich, and the poor ones going to still be poor. That ain't changing. You go ahead and pay your $29.99 and buy that shirt. Someone said he's entirely aware of what he's doing. The fact that we're discussing him at all, that's what he wants. Of course. That's why that's why he put the shirt on. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he trademarked it and he was out here selling the shirts. Why not? If people gonna talk about it, he might well get paid off of it. I heard he said when they asked him why he did it, White Lives Matter, he was like, well, where was y'all at when Pete Davidson, Skeet over here was out here smashing Kim? I ain't seen none of y'all black people sticking up for Kanye, man, but Kanye like, nah, man. Y'all was on Skeet's side. Y'all wasn't even with me. He had my kids on his lap, man. White Lives Matter. All right, we got any questions before I get up out of here? Lovely. I've had a good time with you guys. Hey, y'all can keep making donations. You don't got to stop here. Thank you, Viv. Thank you, Tish. In love. Tish and Viv, you was all up and through here, wasn't y'all? Good job. Good job. Show love. All right, we got anything else? I'm about out. So, hey, if you got a question, hurry up and ask it. Yo, master classes are still $10. I got a new one out. Should you check these master classes out? What should Kanye West do next? Man, that crazy mug should do what he been doing. He get paid off of it. I can't tell him not to do that. I can't tell Kanye not to do what he been doing. I mean, I think he likes it. I think he likes it. So he should keep doing it. Keep going the way you are. Unless I see you taking negative consequences for what you're doing, I say continue to do what you're doing if that's what you like. Thank you and love. All right, thank y'all for coming out. Once again, it's your man Chaz Ellis. Y'all can watch all the live streams that you may have missed. Join me on Patreon. Chaz Ellis or Ask Chaz Ellis on Patreon. Make sure y'all get on there. I think it's Chaz Ellis on Patreon. The link will be there somewhere. Join me on Patreon. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram at I am Chaz Ellis if you're not already doing so. On Facebook at Chaz Ellis. And also, make sure you follow me on here. You subscribe to this. Ask Chaz Ellis on YouTube. Thanks, Viv. Adam Levine cheating with Victoria's Secret model. Cheating on a Victoria's Secret model wife with IG models. Is that what happened? Man, hey. I didn't even know about this story, but I mean, I ain't surprised. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Hey, just because you're a Victoria's Secret model or whatever, that don't mean somebody ain't gonna cheat on you. What you look like ain't really got that much to do with it, man. It's what the relationship is going on and what person you got with. You could be with any, you could be the best looking person in the world and get cheated on. That really has nothing. People say that all the time. Man, I can't believe you cheated on somebody like that. People don't care. People don't care. Jason Derulo cheating every week, according to his baby mama. Well, you should have got with Jason Derulo then. That's your fault. You see dude out here making money. You see he's out here singing. You mess with these R&B singers. You already know what it is. What is he, pop singer? Either one. If you gonna get with a famous person and be surprised they cheated on you, come on, man. You gotta be real with yourself. I think the model knew, she just didn't want the info out either. It's impossible to win whoever you are. Man, I think in life you just gotta understand, like, you're gonna take wins and losses. His baby mama mad that he cheated, but it's like, dang, you with Jason Derulo, you got a kid, you having a happy life. Damn, you gotta have ups and downs, man. Don't just throw away everything or feel like you just totally lost because one thing happened. People do that nowadays way more. It used to be, you got an uncle that don't look nothing like the rest of your family. Grandpa had another family cross town, and people still felt like the family was worth saving and like they won. I'm just saying. People nowadays, if something go bad in life or in a relationship, it's like, let's throw the whole thing away. Like, man, he cheated on me 3 or 4 times. Man, Jada was messing with August Alsina. Man, my whole relationship was a waste of time. Damn, you didn't get nothing out of it? You had some kids, I'm sure y'all had good years and everything too. Be happy for what you did get. That's just like $6,700 ain't no money. Damn, man, be happy for what you got. Like, count what you did get. $6,700 is money. Being in a good relationship for 5 years and then some bad stuff happening is still a good relationship. The only way to avoid cheating would be getting someone who has no options. If they're with you, that means they got an option. There is no way to avoid cheating. That's the reality of it. You may get cheated on, you may not. Now, when you're with somebody who is really, really desirable, obviously you've increased your chances of getting cheated on. Especially if you're with somebody that's really desirable that's not going to be around all the time. You've increased your chances of getting cheated on. But you just got to look at it like, hey, I'm enjoying the relationship as much as possible. If I get cheated on, I'm not going to look at it like it's the end of the world and just make it seem like the relationship was worthless and I had no value in it. If you do that, then you're going to be miserable. You're going to always be sad. You're going to always feel like, oh, man, because something bad is going to happen in every relationship. Whatever that might be. Whether you get cheated on, cussed out, they slap your mama or your daddy. I mean, whatever the hell. Something bad is going to happen in every relationship. It's just whether you can weather that storm or not, or whether you feel like you got anything out of the relationship or not. And that's up to you. Gratitude is really on you. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. It's your man Chaz Ellis once again. I'm out. You know what to do. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thumbs up this if you haven't already. Peace.